community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like Generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining from. We'll be starting a session now. Please allow me to share my screen. And here we go. I hope my screen is visible to you all. And thank you so much for joining today's session. A warm welcome you all to GSTC Certified Learning, Solving Supply Chain Disruption with Generative AI, with a theme that is From Theory to Practice, Applying AI for Smarter Supply Chain Management. My name is Preetham. I'm going to be your host for this session. If you need any assistance during the session, feel free to reach out to me over the chat box, and I'll make sure that I'll be taking care of it. So we had this amazing panel of speaker aligned for this entire webinar series, which was scheduled from 27 to 31st October 2025, with the time slots that is 7:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Singapore time. And it was amazing experience to join their session. So today we'll be having the last session of this webinar series. And before I could hand over the mic to our speaker today, I would like to introduce our hosting organization, GSDC. So we known as Global Skill Development Council. We are vendor agnostic, vendor neutral. We are globally recognized certification body, and we are accredited by ANSI and ABICB. We do have 100 plus certification portfolio with us, and we have certified more than 250,000 professionals across the globe. We have 500 SMEs. Those are subject matter expert, industry experts. They work with us closely to design our deliverables. Also, we are associated with 1,000 multinational corporates and 500 Fortune companies and 50 plus universities across the globe. I am very proud to inform you all that we do have 100 plus authorized training partner across the globe. We have partner in Asia, Africa, Canada, America, and many other countries. So I would love to thank you those who have joined us through our training partner channel. In case if you're looking for any training program for yourself, feel free to reach out to our training partner to have an inquiry about the same. I'll share the link in the chat box shortly. A special thanks to our official media partner, World Press Hub, for covering all our events and press releases. So here, let me introduce you all to a new concept that GSDC has come up with recently, and it's truly exciting. GSDC AI Studio, where this is a platform where we are providing 100 plus live sessions on AI on monthly basis, which is led by a global expert, where we'll be having 45 minutes of impactful session, right? So what this includes, it will include 4 daily sessions, which is, as I said, that 45 minutes live expert-led sessions for hands-on learning, where you'll be getting hands-on or practical walkthroughs for or demo sessions like that. Also the sessions from global expert, where you can learn directly from the AI leaders around the world. Real-time practice, you can apply the concept immediately whatever you learned, and you can get your questions answered, where you can resolve your query instantly. Also certification ready, training aligned with industry standards for job ready skills. So how you can access this AI GSDC AI Studio, where you can start your learning right away with free access for 30 days. You'll be getting 80 plus live sessions each month. As I said, you'll be having full access to GSDC AI Studio for 30 days with no cost. And the next step is that you can opt out for the GSDC lifelong membership with $109, where you will be getting full access, lifetime access, 80 plus live sessions each month, access to full GSDC AI Studio, free GSDC membership, access to physical events, and LinkedIn profile improver. And the next step is that you can opt out for the GSDC certification lifetime membership. It is like a limited time offer, where you can opt out this for $100, and you'll be having this all access GSDC certification, all benefits of lifetime membership, personalized coaching, capstone project plus AI tools, GSDC Copilot, and competency assessment tool. So these are the benefits you will be getting. You can reach out to a learning advisor to get more information on GSDC AI Studio. I'll be sharing the link in the chat box, so you can reach out to a learning advisor. So as I mentioned in my previous slide, we do have 100 plus certification portfolio with us. So our current certification portfolio holds certification on L&D and HR, generative AI, agentic AI, emerging technologies, ISO, project management, agile DevOps, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and so on. So these certification are specially designed for all the professional across the globe who wants to upskill themselves and stay industry relevant, right? So you can reach out to a learning advisor for this as well to get more information on this certification, or you can check our website, which is www.gsdcouncil.org, to check all the details and to check all the offerings that GSTC has for all of you. So without any further delay, I would like to tell you all more about our today's speaker, Mudassir Ahmed. He's a founder and CEO at SCM Dojo, and he'll be taking us through the topic that is generative AI for demand forecasting and inventory optimization. So Mudassir is a globally recognized supply chain expert, thought leader, and founder and CEO, as I mentioned, a leading platform empowering supply chain professionals worldwide with 19 years of experience at companies like Bridgestone, Eaton, and Volvo Cars. He's ranked among the top 10 global supply chain influencers. Dr. Ahmed holds a PhD in management science and is sought after keynote speaker on supply chain excellence and digital transformation. We're very delighted to have you, Mudassir, with us. You can have the hander of the virtual mic now. Thank you so much.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. I just want to share my screen with sound. So let me know when my screen is visible. Is my presentation visible?
Not yet. It's in the process. Yeah, perfect. We can see it now.
Very good. Thank you very much, Priti, right, for the introduction. I appreciate it very much. Welcome, everybody. Hope you are in a good place. And as we said, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. So let's start. So today's topic is generative AI for demand forecasting and inventory optimization. And I will walk through this presentation, which is combined by SCM Dojo and Plantrex, which is I'm also a co-founder for this. So you will know more about that later. By all means, you can ask me a question at the end. But let's start how the supply chain body of knowledge generally look like. So if you see the supply chain in general, it has three main functional areas, which is supply chain planning, procurement, and logistics. Historically, to be a good supply chain people or the professional, what you need to be just good in supply chain competencies like materials management, inventory management, demand planning, S&OP, supply planning, and so on and so forth. If you're in logistics, you need to know warehouse design, how to manage the 3PL suppliers, global trade management, network design, and so on and so forth. For procurement competencies, if you know sourcing, negotiation, category management, commodity management, supply relationship management, and so on and so forth would be enough. And if you're good people, and if you combine with the good people skills, which is managing up, managing down, managing stakeholders, project management, communication, then you seems to be a good rounded professional to be successful wherever you are at whatever level you are, right? But now with the era of technology or digitalization, which started in 2010, and now AI, the game is changing, right? And then we're gonna focus on this as well. So because I'm a researcher and I like to start the whole any presentation from going back in the history, right? Because then we make sense where we are and why we're talking about AI or generative AI in the supply chain space. So if you go back until 1960s, 1980s, the term supply chain management did not even exist. It used to known as materials management, physical distribution, inventory management, warehousing, production planning, and so on and so forth. So only in 2000, the word supply chain management was coined, right? When the information technology, post-internet era, marketing was used as digital marketing, and then there was strategic planning was going on. Between 2010 and 23, the supply chain digitalization basically moving from the very manual processes of how you basically pay to the invoices, how you generate your demand, how you basically managing your logistics operation, try to be on internet or digital as much as possible, reducing the paper trail, right? So there was a further emergence of technologies like cloud computing, which was great for collaboration outside the organization. There was ERP becoming mandatory within the organization. Then there's a post Amazon e-commerce era, which was more B2C. Then the B2B customers are also going into the commerce era. So when I was in Bridgestone, we used to receive orders by email or attachment sometime by WhatsApp, and we used to send them the order confirmation, shipping confirmation, reports by emails, and so on and so forth. Now, then what I've done is I've created a full end-to-end platform where basically from order to shipment to reporting everything into one platform. That's what I mean by B2B commerce. And then what happened was that digital competencies was becoming mandatory. Now, coming back from November 2023, when the ChatGPT came in and it has a rise, the whole AI has been, or what we call it, really expanded big time. It's become the new thing. Somebody call it industrial evolution 4.0, in a sense that now the how we do things in general in business is going to change, which Preeti just explained it earlier as well. So there's a terms being used as supply chain orchestration, means the most of the agents are going to do certain tasks. For example, booking in your shipment, callings, like a customer service member, answering questions, so on and so forth. Then the AI chatbots being integrated into CRM system, ERP system. I'll show you an example of that as well. That's being happening as well. Now there's also the advent of digital twin. That means you can take your supply chain, your warehouse, and whatever, you can basically put a digital twin which replicate your operation. You can do simulation, so on and so forth. So technology has been changing super fast, and if we are not going to adopt it, what's going to happen is we're going to stay behind. And there's also a fear that, oh, AI will basically take our jobs, and what we're going to do. I think it will happen in certain areas, but there is a growing theme that AI will create new jobs and it will make human more efficient and more powerful. In a sense, we can do more with the given resources, and the world can only improve. So I'm a very optimistic about AI and how the AI is going to improve our life in general and also our work functions and work output very well. Right now, Interestingly, I'm also want to see the trend. So if you see the blue line, which is the supply chain term, as going from up and down, is going back post COVID, when the supply chain became an issue. Now everybody talks about supply chains becoming a very important function. It's becoming a C-level function. Data science has been, in last 10 years has been growing as well, the red line. And if you see the little yellow line at the bottom left, then the AI agents or AI has been growing as well. Now, before we go to the further talking about demand planning and forecasting, I would like to quickly reflect back at the few terms we have been using. I think as the title of the conversation is generative AI. So if you see the umbrella body of knowledge is artificial intelligence, which is essentially a program that can sense, reason, act, and adopt. So this concept exists technically since 1956. It's not a new concept. So now why a lot of people talking about it? Because the what we call it, the technology is there, right? Who can run this complex algorithm, right? That's why Nvidia stock is going so high. That's why a lot of big companies are investing so much in data centers, because we will need more computing power to run those algorithms. So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, means algorithm performs improve as they get exposed to more data. So the more data that goes through, they will learn from the data, they adopt, and then they help make you better decisions or give you better output. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning, in which multi-layered neural network learn from the vast amount of data. The neural network is basically a language model where it can learn from train from a lot of data, and then start predicting what you about to say next and have the answer ready. So generative AI is this is what we're talking about, is basically can create new content because it's been trained on a lot of data. And I'll talk about training a bit more later on. That means it can create text, it can create image, audio, video. As you can see, Gemini and OpenAI and Microsoft are releasing more and more products which is generative in nature, right? You can almost create a new presentation by a prompt by integrating, for example, Canva in ChatGPT. So LLM is a type of artificial intelligence program that trained on a massive amount of text data to understand, generate, and manipulate human language. Therefore, training of the LLMs are becoming more and more important, right? So LLMs sits between deep learning and generative learning. So the reason I'm explaining you this, that if you're going to use generative AI or in your own business, so the training of the data or access to the data becomes very important, because that's why it's so by after training of the data, the information output will become better and better. Now, you have seen a lot of AI programs. I'm sure you have used ChatGPT at some point, which is by OpenAI. It's very versatile, user-friendly, creative, but can lag in complex reasoning because it's not been trained on the complex reasoning data. DeepSeek come from China. It's been a mixture of expert, which is different from LLM, means they've created an expert in each area, for example, physics, biology, medical, computing, supply chain, art. And then when you write a prompt, it's actually the head expert goes back to a specific expert and pick the information, come back. Therefore, it takes a bit more time. So they are very, very high performing, right? And DeepSeek was basically coming from the background of shares and share dealing. So their AI has been trained on a lot of trading. So if you're asking any trading information, it comes out very well. Now, but the issue with that is there's a lot of hallucination, so you have to be very careful. Data security concerns are there because of their origin, and they're restricted in some region. Gemini, which is my favorite, right, which is created by Google. So Google actually purchased a company called DeepMind 10 years ago. So Gemini is trained on the biggest sources of information which is available in the world, which is top two websites, which is Google search and also the YouTube, right? So it's very strong in productivity, multimodal task, but it is less independent because it's very much dependent on the Google ecosystem. Then we got Grok. I think it should be more famous than it is, which is based on XAI, which is X, which is Twitter, Elon Musk one. It's very good if you're looking into the current event, strong reasoning depth as well. but limited to the paid customers. Now we got Claude. Claude is one of the early ones as well. It's natural writing, excellent for long form content. It's their positioning is they want to be safe in a some sort of ethical AI. Then Perplexity, also one of the interns of OpenAI, has started that. They want to basically pioneer the AI-powered search engine, combining the LLMs from all the above I mentioned. Copilot is Microsoft, which is essentially same copy of OpenAI algorithm, plus they have combined their own LLMs as well. Now, the purpose of this slide is to show you that each of those chatbot or LLMs, or they all have generative AI capability, have their own strength and weaknesses. So you need to know what type of use case you have to you go ahead and use those LLMs. So if you want to do creative work, then my suggestion would be that you use Claude or Perplexity or ChatGPT. If you want to do more mathematical work, more research work, especially deep research work, if you have a paid access to Gemini, I would strongly recommend to use Gemini because they have the biggest and the most vast narrative data to pull the information across the internet, right? So the point is identify use case and then go ahead and use it. But you can try the same, and I think one of the tests you can do is you can take the same prompt, like same, and copy paste into all 3 or 4 of them, and I can assure you, you will get slightly different answers. The different answers you're going to get is because of the background they have been trained on, right? So that's the key message of the slide. Now, let's move to the, I think the group challenge we cannot do because I think everybody's on mute. So I'm going to move to the next slide in general as well, right? Can we do a group challenge? Can people talk? Maybe not. Okay, let's move forward.
Well, this is they won't be able to unmute themselves, but in
Okay,
case if you
that's fine.
want that,
I can do it
want me
later.
to do that.
We can do
Okay.
it later. Okay, so now before I go to generative AI, let's understand forecasting. Why we have to forecast, right? Forecast means knowing about future. It comes to any forecasting, and so in the context of SCM, the reason I want to forecast is to reduce uncertainty. Means we want to know how much we want to sell in general, or what customers' demand is, or demand seasonality or patterns are, so we can know what to produce, so we can go and buy it or make it. Another issue is that if you're a distributor, for example, customer places an order right now and they want you to ship like in 2 days or immediately if you're Amazon, but how you understand what stocks to carry, and if your supply lead time is anything between 1 month or 3 weeks or 3 months, then you have to produce or buy that inventory only on forecast. You have no choice because you do not have the customer demand visibility at that point in time. So therefore, forecasting becomes super important for managing supply chain. So to anticipate and manage change, to increase communication integration of the planning teams. That means you need to know if the demand is going up or down based on seasonality. For example, Christmas is coming and then there's more chocolates needed, then you have to start planning right now. If your lead time is more than 2 months. To anticipate inventory and capacity planning demand. So I was in a supply chain leader in Eaton. We used to buy a lot of product from China. An example of that would be we have this Chinese New Year, which is March time, and the lead time was 3 months. So what used to happen is we used to be, by summertime, we always out of stock in May, June, because we always used to place orders after Chinese New Year. And as you know, Chinese New Year maybe 2 weeks, but by the time they get up and running and people come from the villages to the city like Shenzhen, etc., that means it takes time for them to ramp up production. So what we decided is that if we want to do some inventory and stock build before they go to Chinese New Year, meaning we will decide in December time that they or November time and place the POs so they can produce before the Chinese New Year break. So by the time they're gonna ship, it will be end of January, and it will arrive in Feb, March, April. Now, that means we are avoiding a summer stock out, which is like June, July summer stock out, by planning in November. That was demand forecasting. It was important, right? And then we decide how many people we need to produce what we want to produce. To project cost of operation budgeting, again, if you want to carry more inventory, because you want to forecast earlier and build earlier. That means you need more space. More space means you have to go for a 3PL, meaning you have to have a more warehousing. That means you have to have a more cost. Therefore, you need to be budgeting with your financial leader. To over competitiveness and productivity through decreased decreased cost, improved delivery responsiveness to the customer. Meaning, if you have a better availability and your productivity is better, and you can respond to a customer service better, that means you can gain market share. Right now, innovation is getting more difficult. What is important here these days for businesses, that how they can be more agile, more resilient, more responsive, because right now supply chain is competing with supply chain. So move further. So as you just see what's happening in the recent world, what's happening in the recent world is we had COVID in 2020, then we have this Suez Canal thing in 2021, and then we have this 2024 shocks in terms of port strikes, and now we have this US-Iran conflict. All of these socio-political or natural or socio-economical issues causes disruption in supply chain. As you know, in the days of COVID, there was this whole saga of there was no toilet papers, right? It's becoming the biggest supply chain issue in the history. It's because of the natural pandemic. So these issues, which basically poses challenges for us to how to basically figure out what we need to produce. Now, so why the critical need for the precision forecasting? So if you think about the traditional forecasting challenges, lagging data, right? Reliance on the historical sales, often not reflecting real-time market rate. So you have no choice but to use your data, which is you have in the marketplace for last, what you sold in last 2 years or 3 years, to use that history. As someone said, the history is the best predictor of future if you use it properly. Human bias, subjectivity is in expert opinion and manual judgments. There's a saying from Warren Buffett, which is one of the richest people in the world, that forecasting tells you more about the culture of the company, not the mathematical technique. So human bias is always there, which is now getting less and less with AI, of course. Limited data processing, inability to effectively process vast amount of diverse data sets. If you're using Excel, which people use in 67% of cases, it has a very limitations of rows and columns, and it gets very heavy, and you can't run if you're running like thousands of SKUs and various product life cycles and so on and so forth. So it gets very complex if you're doing an Excel, therefore you need a software. And then there's a external volatility, high sensitivity to unseen forecasts, pandemics, policies, as I mentioned. So these challenges has been existing for us as supply chain people for a very long amount of time. And now AI is coming and really helping us in solving most of these issues, if not all of these issues. So what's the difference between, leveraging AI data analytics, right? So AI was a traditional model. So why AI is better? AI covers complex, non-linear pattern beyond basic statistical model. Meaning, let me give you examples. If you're doing you have a data, for example, you got 10,000 SKUs, you got 2 years of data, you are a tire distributor. So what you do, you put into Excel and then you apply. So forecasting is generally qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative means, expert judgment and surveys and so on and so forth. Interviews. Quantitative means you're generally going to use time series method, which is basically moving average or exponential smoothing and so on and so forth. You can use the regression-based forecasting method as well. But all of them have the limitation. And what generally happens is people take one formula and generally try to apply to most of the data set. But what we figured is that most of the data sets within even one organization, they have some kind of segmentation, as we call it. One example of segmentation would be ABC classification. A class items are high-rating items, B are your medium running, and C are basically slow movers and not movers. So generally 80-20 rule applies in the world. Basically 20% of the SKUs create 20% of your sales and 20% of your profit. 20% of your SKUs create 80% of your sales, 80% of margin, 80% of order lines as well. So therefore you cannot not apply same formula of forecasting across all part numbers. So what AI now does, it can look into the patterns of the demand and pick a different method using machine learning, right? And it's get better with time, as I showed you why machine learning is better, because it train itself, the more data goes to train itself and get better and better, which is the humanly not possible if you're just using the same formula. So big data integration, now you can combine different source internal like inventories, forecast, sales, inventory, and external forces like social media, weather. So right now, in the example I'm going to show you, if you are into, for example, into a space like forecasting of shipments, then you can take the unstructured data like news and stuff and understand if there's anything going wrong and send alerts to that as well. Machine learning algorithms, time series forecasting. So what is machine learning algorithms? Within that, you have time series forecasting algorithms like Ariva neural network for demand prediction, right? It has regression models to link the demand with the drivers like markets or outbreaks. The most importantly, you can have a best fit model for improved accuracy. So what a machine learning does is look into your data complexity and say, okay, for this sort of runners and repeaters, you're going to use, this kind of formula. For this erratic demand, you're going to use a different formula, right? And then you can perform data analytics, which is of a real-time dashboard for forecasting insights and so on and so forth. Literally, this kind of output was not available even 5 years ago, right? So things has changed very fast in very recent times. And then my message here would be to be up to speed with all of that. Now, I'm going to show you a real life example of how the forecasting work in a software system, right? And then you will see how it works. There's a quick video I made so you can see how the generative AI or machine learning is working. It's been provided by the Plantrex people, who is I'm also co-founder of. So if anybody in this business are interested in signing up to the platform, by all means, let me know. If you're especially into a distribution business, let me know as well, or manufacturing business. So I'm going to run a video, right? And let me know if you can hear it as well. You should be able to hear it.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
My name is Majd Kofan.
Why
I am
you
one of the
can't see
co-founders
that?
of
Wait a
Tech
minute.
and the Chief Product and Science Officer.
Wait a minute.
Today,
something is wrong. I cannot see the video. 1 second, guys. Okay.
our next generation demand planning platform.
Sorry, I have a backup plan. One minute. 1 second. Technical issues. Okay. Okay, this should work.
The forecasting models. This is basically we do have different forecasting models.
You can hear it?
Yes, we can hear it. We can say it. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily only one forecasting model per product. We have of choosing the best fit model, or it could be a combination of models to come up with something we call the best fit. And that's what we will have presented by default. However, if you want to check other models, you have that. You can see those in here once you select them.
Historically, what happen is maybe you're doing some forecasting right now in Excel. People tend to apply just one formula across all the SKUs. But as you know, between different product segments, there is a different demand seasonality and pattern for different SKUs. So the algorithm we have built here is like, it will pick the relevant model for the specific SKU. So not one formula will apply to all the SKUs. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm. So we have a chatbot also that can we can ask, and this will also help us in the future for alerting mechanism. So for example, if I come here and I want to get some insights about the forecast or the historical, right, future forecast or historical forecast. Let me type this question here. And my question is, identify the top 10 SKUs with the most significant increase in forecast demand compared to the previous year, segmented by channel. Let me put that here. Let it think for a second. It's thinking. And here we go. For example, it's like here are the top 10 SKUs that have shown the most significant increase in forecast demand compared to the previous year. And this would provide us what's the item, what's the current year forecast, what was the last year actuals, what's the increase in terms of units, right? It does also provide some kind of like written insights there. So that's another feature that.
So I want to show you this. So this example, which we ask a query to a chatbot and come with the answer, is a really good example of how the generative AI has been helping the supply chain people. Because if this question, which was written here by my colleague Majid, if somebody asks this question, so that person has to go into Excel and then do some pivots and do some data tables, and then basically then understand the data, create some graphs, and then bring back information, which could take anything between 2 to 4 hours, could take more. Now, with generative AI, now what's actually happened is they are able to access the information, understand the prompt from the user, and actually go ahead and get the information from the data sets and give back to users so they can quickly access and answer this question. That would have not been possible 2 years ago. Technically, just would have not been possible, right? So this is the beauty and the real use case of AI, which is now people are using it in supply chain planning.
We have there. Been thinking about it, and we're still testing, and we want to get feedback from our partners as well. And this is where it's more like, okay, this is my forecast for the Jan through this period, right? This is more kind of like an Excel type of experience where you come here and say like, okay, this is my forecast. Maybe I'm gonna use, I don't like the 110, make that. Maybe 120, I don't like that one, make it 120 multiplied by 1.10, right? And that would give me like, okay, maybe this 130, it's 130 minus 30, right? And you can drag, if you want to like have a formula, for example, if I want to like use this as a relevant of, if I want to use this as a relevant of this, it's E2, for example, right? Multiplied by 0.50. I want to make this 50% of the item at the bottom. I can just drag this, right? And you can drag right and left as well. It's a full experience when it comes to.
Yes, these two last two last tools that you showed, the override, they seem to be pretty interesting.
I'm eager to hear more.
Yeah. So
okay,
it seems that they should cover many cases that we are experiencing in life.
Okay, so this feedback from my customer here was important one, right? Pretty interesting, and it feels like they can use it. And this is what the power of generative AI in real life, that it can solve really complex problems, especially data, very fast. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this, and now I'm just gonna quickly move to the end, and then we move to the Q&A. That SCM Dojo, we've created 76 courses. We have courses on supply chain digitalization, procurement, logistics. It's been created by more than 35 experts. You can see some of them on the screen. I'm expert in demand planning. I have a course on supply chain digitalization, sales and operations planning, and there's a lot of interesting courses from a lot of experts. So, for example, we have a course on how to create your business case for supply chain technology implementation. So that's there as well. Then we have the biggest online academy. We do some online training. If you go to the website, you can check that. We do some collaborative sessions, like this one is one, and we have created the biggest library of best practice ebooks. Furthermore, we have created about 22 best practices, which is procurement KPI dashboard, as inventory optimization tools, material management competencies, so on and so forth. And then we've got 19 ebooks as well, which you can download and use it, especially on demand forecasting. We have a guide, stock taking, and so on and so forth. We are also creating some AI apps. I think the one I want to mention is the AI competency assessment tool. You can go and check that, understand if you're in supply chain, how good, what are the areas of improvement you have, what courses you have to take to close it as well. So it's free. You can use it. It's again using power of AI or generative AI to do the analysis. So far, we got more than 14,000 members. We got customers like JLR, Musk, Altalaya, Bridgestone. We got more than 1,100 paying users, and we have processed more than 4,000 orders and growing slowly as well. And we have customers in India, UAE, Saudi, USA, Canada, and globally. So again, I mentioned your competency profile analysis. You can check that. That would be great. If you want to take online courses, we have a very low cost membership starting from only $19 per month for students. You can start from there and then go premium and expert. So this is the experts. I'm not one of them, but this is there. Then we move to the last slide, which is the best way to predict the future is to create it. So thank you for listening. And if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Mudassir, for amazing session. I request all the participants, please drop your questions in the chat box. We can take it because we have 10 to 15 minutes. So feel free to drop all the questions that you have in your mind in the chat box. Thank you. Mudassir, meanwhile, can I get some question across live that I've got already?
Yeah, sure.
All right. This question is from Sam. How can generative AI help improve forecast accuracy when demand data is highly volatile or incomplete?
Okay, so as I mentioned in the slide, that artificial intelligence, so machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. The beauty of machine learning is it can pick seasonality patterns from your historical data. And if you combine that with any external unstructured sources like news or any information available on the web, it can help you make better decisions, right? You can predict that something about to go wrong. For example, supply is about to get burst, or there is like a port strike somewhere, or there's a strike in France, and you can make better decisions, right? And it will help you pick better algorithm, right, to predict the future demand. Would it eliminate all the risk? The answer of that is no. Would it help you make better decisions by understanding the risk and volatility, or as we call it, VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, and so on and so forth? The answer of that is yes.
Thank you so much. There's another question we have got over chat box from Anirudh. I work for retail logistic. How can we use Gen AI in manufacturing SCM?
Repeat the question.
Yeah, I worked for retail logistic. How can we use Gen AI in manufacturing SCM?
Yeah, I think simple. I just send you this one use case where we are using generative AI and machine learning in improving the forecast, getting the answers better, quick analysis, quick insights, predictive insights, prescriptive insights, in fact. So that's one use case. You can use the same use case in, if you, for example, if you want to use agentic AI and want to automate a lot of repetitive work, for example, if you are there and for every shipment you have to understand the cost of freight and the freight availability and determine who are the cheapest provider, you can basically design the whole thing using agentic model. Then what will happen is you just upload your packing list. It will send the packing list to all your logistics vendors. They will reply back. Based on their replies, AI or agent or one of the AI agents would determine which shipment is better, and then it will basically going to ask you to basically make a decision. Okay, so that's depending on the use case. You can use all AI in almost all use cases.
Great, thank you so much, Mudassir. Can see the another question that we have got from Nerissa. What is your top technique or best practice to validate forecasting of agentic AI prior to making decision in real time?
What is the best practice? What is the top technique or best practice to validate forecasting and interpret? What is the top technique or best practice to validate forecasting and interpret? Yeah, I think there's a three kind of there's three levels of AI or human-centric AI, meaning there is called autonomous, supervised, and semi-supervised, right? Meaning you let AI make all the decisions. Semi-supervised means you see the output and then click and say approved. And fully supervised means you are just reviewing the work and making decisions after getting the responses. Okay, meaning what you have to do here is, so my best practice would be is to go human-centric AI, meaning you have a human in the loop supervising the output of the AI and then making decisions based on the information received. I would not really recommend right now at this point in time when the technology is developing, at least in initial phase of usage, that you go for fully autonomous. So my recommendation would be go semi-supervised or fully supervised human-centric AI.
Great. Thank you so much. Moving forward to the next question, we got it again from the Anuruddha. Is Plantrix the tool for predicting demand forecasting or any other top tools for it?
Plantex is the tool for predicting demand forecasting, right? If you're manufacturing business, if you want to have a demo, you want to use the tool, by all means, drop me an email. You can just Google my name, you'll find me, or mudassir@scmdojo.com. You can just email me and I'll get it arranged.
Great. Thank you so much, Mudassir. There's another question across live. In your experience, what are the top data challenges companies face before implementing AI-driven demand forecasting?
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. So data challenges is still an issue for us, right? Or issue for the industry. As we say, garbage in, garbage out. Uh, and it has been issue for any data license. But now the good thing is agentic AI can solve a lot of data issues. So LLMs can read data, right? Can read text. So what LLMs can do is they can go ahead and identify any data anomalies, any gaps in the data, any vacant fields, any wrong spellings, any numbers does not make sense, and bring it to in front of you to either fix it or recommend to fix it. So the first step here to implement any agentic workflow is actually use agents to improve the data quality, right? And when you use agents to improve the data quality and then you feed the data back, that means when agents make decisions based on improved data, the output is better.
Thank you so much. I also shared Mudassir's LinkedIn profile link in the chat box, so feel free to reach out to him if you have any further questions, or you can drop your questions. We still have 5 to 10 minutes to cover for the Q&A. So there's another question. How can small and mid-sized manufacturers practically start integrating generative AI into their existing ERP or planning system?
Good point. One obvious solution would be, I think, to use the solution like Plantex. That's one. Second thing you can do if you don't want to start from the beginning, if you're using any planning systems, you can start if you got Copilot or if you're using Microsoft Dynamics, you can start integrating that as well. That would be one. Uh, Generally, if you just take the data out into Excel have this AI capabilities right now with the Copilot. So start basically looking into with your current software providers. Are they providing some generative AI capabilities like Copilot for Microsoft, or you have to find one? I think there's plenty of available. I can certainly help if you want to know more. Depends on what kind of ERP you are using. But the issue with the classical big ERP companies like Oracle and SAP, they're very slow. They're slow to move. I think they're trying to change, but not fast enough.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we'll be taking this question as the last question for today. As I informed all the participants, if you have any questions later on, you can reach out to Mudassar, or you can post your questions over your social media and tag GSDC, and we'll make sure that one of our SME will get back to you with the answers. Thank you. So the last question for today is, how can generative AI help companies balance between overstocking and stock outs during unpredictable market condition? Asked by
Okay.
Mitali. Yes.
Yeah, very good question again. So I'm just going to put follow newsletter. Okay, so example, generative AI. So what happened is you are running inventory model. You have feedback into the software, let's call it Plantex. So what will happen is it will tell you, looking at your historical demand and use case and your supply lead time and your current safety stock, and it will say, okay, what is the coverage you have? You don't need generative AI to tell you that. Generative AI, you can just apply the simple mathematics, and then it will tell you your excess inventory, which is more than 3 months or 6 months, or obsolete inventory more than 12 months. Again, you don't need generative AI for that as well. You can just run simple mathematics and you can figure that out. At SCM we have an inventory optimization tool, which is cheaply available. You can just use that. Now, what generative AI can help is, it can, once you have a lot of data and then you want to understand unhealthy demand, and you want to filter by ABC classification, a certain region or certain product range or certain warehouse or certain customer segmentation, then you can just use AI to create this prescriptive predictive insights. Now, where generative AI would come in machine learning, because as a human you're going to take a huge amount of time to find risk, which is my unhealthy inventory, you're about to get out of stock or got too much inventory. The AI would start sending you alerts by saying, okay, do not order this because you're already getting 12 months of stock, right? That means it's doing the work for a planner, making planner better decisions. Okay. So this is where the efficiency of generative AI came in, which was initially done by humans. Or human with the knowledge. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's another follow-up question from Mitali again. Looking ahead, how do you see generative AI reshaping the role of supply chain planners over the next 5 years?
So what will happen is the planners do a lot of work and make decisions to what to order, what to make historically. That's fine. But one of their bigger part of the job is analysis and giving feedback to the management of uh, where they have excess inventory, which customers they are late, uh, where they are about to get out of stock, what is the status of delayed deliveries, what are the root causes. These kind of analytical work, most of it would be done by AI. And then, in fact, with LLMs, it will be written by 80% of it. Then you just need to supervise. In fact, you can use generative AI to write a presentation and you can present it. So the work which used to be take 1 week can be done in 1 day or less. That's where the biggest change is and will be.
Great. Thank you very much, Mudassir, for answering all the questions so far. And thank you, everyone, participants, for asking such amazing questions. So, before we move forward with the closing, we would love to hear final thoughts from you, Mudassir, for all our participants today.
Yeah, sure. What I would say is, AI is here to use. It's not going to get away. So there's no point being scared or no point saying it's going to take our job. That's just not going to work. What I would suggest is become an early mover. I think AI is going to replace jobs of people who's not going to learn about AI and how to use AI. If you are the one who knows how to use generative AI or AI in your current jobs, not that you will be only keep your job. In fact, you will be the one who is growing it and outpacing your competition or within the organization and outside organization, right? What I noticed is that if you are an early stage of career, so eager to learn, and you go to mid stage of career, and then later you stop learning, and then technology goes further, and the only constant in the world, is change. So change always going to happen, and therefore you got to move with the change. So stay ahead of the curve. Yeah, it's not easy to. It's not too difficult to learn. You don't need to be a data scientist. You don't need to be a Python expert, right? You don't need to be a SQL expert. if we are intelligent with some education, with business sense, we all of us can understand no code workflows. We all of us can, there's a term called vibe coding. I don't know coding right now, but I can create a code in HTML, CSS, give it to my developer. He can launch it like immediately. I use a website called Lovable, creates a beautiful landing pages for me just by writing a prompt, and I generate ideas and give it to my developer to put it on the website and create pages. So the point is, AI is there to make humans more creative, more productive, more efficient. And the smarter you are in using AI, the smarter you will get, and the AI you will using it will get. So I see this as a big opportunity. And the final thought is, I see, someone like me who's in 40s, would be lucky in a sense that, I born in an area where there was no internet, there was no mobile phone, there was not analog. So there was like cassettes and DVDs and MP3 players, which came in cassettes. So I've seen the transition. I was fortunate enough to buy in the, born in an age where I've seen the full human evaluation from analog to digital and AI and beyond. So it's a great time to live, my friend. So let's enjoy it.
Great. Thank you so much, Vidasya. Thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful thoughts with all our participants today. And we'll be definitely reaching out to you for future sessions as well in the GSDs. Thank you so much. So, as I mentioned over the chat box, that I do have some great announcement for all of you. So, this is regarding the today's feature certification that we had a session on Certified Generative AI for Supply Chain Management, where you can opt out for this certification. You can use this promo code, which is supply20, to get an amazing discount, which is 20% off. So these certifications are lifetime validated certification, which gives you learning resources where you'll be getting a lot of case studies to work on, e-learnings and book of knowledge. These certifications are lifelong learnings, which gives you learning flexibility, and you'll be getting chance to connect with our training partner channel. And also you'll be getting a lot of opportunity to work on the capstone project, that is something real-time AI simulation practice. So do grab this opportunity, as this offer is only valid till this weekend. So do grab. Also, we do have this utility tool. We introduced this tool earlier, where you can use August 100 as a code to get 100% off, which means completely free. And this is only for our webinar attendees. How this tool will help you? This tool will help you to improve your LinkedIn profile score, your AI skills score. Also, it will help you to build your personal brand. And also, it will help you to create AI generated resumes. So use this tool. I've already shared the link in the chat box. I'll share it again after this announcement. I do have some great announcement for all of you. From Monday onwards, from 3rd November till 7th November, we'll be having 3 webinars on a different time slot. So we'll be having first webinar at 8:30 p.m. Singapore time, 7:30 a.m. Central, on solving coaching and learning challenges with generative AI. So do join us. The next slot that we'll be having at 10:30 p.m. Singapore time, we'll be having this session on world L&D case studies across industries. We do have amazing panel of speaker aligned for this already. So, and the another slot, the same time slot, which is 10:30 p.m. Singapore time. So we'll be having 2 sessions simultaneously. So the another session is on ISO, and the first one is on learning and development. So do join us, as we do have incredible panel of speaker aligned for this already. And I hope to see you all for that. Also, I shared all the registration link and the WhatsApp joining link over the chat box. You can check it. If you scroll up a little bit, you'll find all the registration link in the chat box. Also, you all must be aware that we are running this AI tool challenge, which was scheduled for 28 days earlier, then 33, and then we got amazing response. And on demand, we have extended this till 100 days now. And we have, you can see, right, we have amazing panel of AI expert aligned for this. So what speaker are doing, they are giving us a live demo session with practical walkthroughs, hands-on demo sessions, right? So do join us with the time slot that is 11:30 p.m. Singapore time. Also, we do have these 3 winners who have referred maximum people to our session. Kashin Ali, Tayyab Nisar, and Asas. They are the winners. They are the final winners who have referred maximum people, as I said. So let's congratulate to them, and please do refer maximum people for our upcoming sessions as well. So yes, we'll be getting back to you all 3 for rewards that is worth $400. Also, in case if you want to be speaker for our upcoming events, feel free to reach out to us, as we are having global platform like Learning Capsule, webinar, and podcast. And we would love to connect with you all over social media. You can scan this QR to connect with us over LinkedIn. You can check our website www.gsdcouncil.org to get more information and to check all the offerings that GSDC has for all of you. Also, you can check all the information regarding the certifications on supply chain. You'll find the details. I've already shared the link in the chat. Connect with us over the WhatsApp group to get daily update on event, boot camps, webinars that we often conduct. And please do share your valuable feedback on the Trust Pilot. You'll find the link in the chat box. And thank you so much for joining today's session.
Okay.
I
Thank
hope
you.
to see you all for upcoming sessions as well. Thank you, Vidasya.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good weekend.